to our price elasticity of supply and price elasticity of demand, economists are sometimes interested in some other elasticities. We're going to take a look at two particular cases. The first one is the income elasticity of demand. How many more restaurant trips will I make, for instance, if I get a 10% salary increase? And we're also going to be interested in the cross-price elasticity. How much more Coke will I drink if the price of Pepsi goes up? So these are two elasticities that we're going to be concerned with very often in economics. There are a lot more. You can construct as many examples of elasticities as you can construct variables. So this is not an exhaustive list, but these are two that are commonly examined in economic studies. Okay. Income elasticity refers to the percentage change in quantity of a good that's demanded, divided by a percentage change in income. So, if I get a 10% raise, I might, for instance, eat 5% more cake. My income elasticity, EI, is equal to 5% over 10% equals 0.5. Right? A 10% increase in income, I eat 5% more steak. I treat myself a little more often. And eat 10% less mac and cheese as I switch from inexpensive and mediocre food to more fancy meals. You may see me reduce my consumption of certain goods, right? So if I get a raise, I can spend my money on more luxurious items and less on mac and cheese and ramen noodles and things like that. In this case, if I see my income goes up by 10%, I reduce my consumption of mac and cheese by 10%, this gives me an income elasticity of -1, right? Now, if income elasticity is positive, if it's greater than 0, this good is normal, steak in our example. If the income elasticity is less than 0, a negative number, the good is inferior, mac and cheese. Fits this description. Okay, the next category we're going to be interested in, the next elasticity, is what we'll call cross-price elasticity. In this case, we're interested in the percentage change in the quantity demanded of good X, some good, divided by the percentage change in the price of good Y, some different good. Right? So in this case, we're going to consider hot dogs as our good Y. What happens if the price of hot dogs goes up? If the price of hot dogs goes up by 10%, I may consume less hot dogs and more hamburgers. Hot dogs are more expensive when I go to the grocery store, so instead of buying hot dogs, I buy hamburgers. Right? I may consume 5% more hamburgers if the price of hot dogs rises. Alternatively, I may switch to consuming 5% less mustard. Mustard goes on my hot dogs, I'm not buying as many hot dogs, so therefore I'm not also going to buy as much mustard. If the cross-price elasticity is positive, the two goods are substitutes, hot dogs and hamburgers, right? So in this case, the price elasticity of hamburgers, we're going to have 5% over 10%. This will be 0.5. In this case, the bottom case, the negative case, we're going to have a 10% change in the price of good Y with a -5% change in the quantity of good X, mustard. That's going to be a negative number. And in this case, hot dogs and mustard are what's known as complements. So if the cross-price elasticity is positive, I raise the price of one thing and people switch to something else, pushing up demand for the second good, these two goods are substitutes. If the cross-price elasticity is negative, I raise the price of this good so people buy less of the complementary good, in this case mustard, then we have a negative relationship between those two things. And these two goods are complements.